Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about illusion of speed. Have you ever felt like you are going insanely fast and when you check your speedometer it barely shows 60 or 50? Similarly, at the other times you feel very slow, calm, but when you check at your speedometer it actually shows above 100. So this mismatch is what we call as illusion of speed. Our brain doesn't actually sense speed directly. It senses through motion, like visual flow, like how fast that object is crossing in our vision, and other cues like sound, wind pressure, like vibration. When this cue changes, our brain guesses the speed incorrectly sometimes. And I'll talk about what are the factors that influencing this illusion of speed. First thing, or first factor, it's like wider spaces. Like wide roads make you feel slow, especially when you're going in any 6-lane highway. Everything around you feels like far away, and roadside objects move slowly across your vision. So even if you're doing 120, it feels very comfortable, right? The wider the space or the wider the visual spacing, the slower the optical flow will be in your vision. That is perceived as slow speed or lower speed. And when you are going in narrow spaces, like in narrow village roads, like that, in narrow roads make you feel faster. Why? Because the trees or poles or the objects will be crossing faster in your vision. That the optical flow increases dramatically. So even though if you're going at 40 or 50, it feels like you are flying. That's why closer objects, whenever the objects are close to you, it feels like you are going fast. That's not because you're actually going fast. It's because the optical flow is dramatically increased, which creates the faster visual motion. It makes you feel like you're going at higher speeds. It perceived as a higher speed. Apart from these two factors, wider spaces and narrow spaces, one more factor which influences speed or which creates this illusion of speed is lighting. Especially when you're driving at nights, you lose lot of depth cues. Like you cannot see the depth properly, or you cannot see the reference points properly, and your visual information will be reduced drastically. With less visual information, we underestimate the speed and we tend to go faster. That means, so dark conditions or low light contrast conditions, your optical flow will not be predicted properly. You tend to go faster and you assume the speed wrongly. So always make sure you're going at your comfortable speeds or slow speeds at the night times. Apart from these wider spaces and narrow spaces and lightning, one more factor which creates this illusion of speed is nothing but your wind noise and your vibrations. Have you ever observed, whenever you're going in a car, if you down your windows, you suddenly feels like you're going faster even though you're at slow speeds? That means it's because of strong wind noise and the vibration, you feel like you're going much faster. Auditory cues can exaggerate the perceivable speed. So this is how the illusion of speed is varied because of so many factors. The illusion works both ways. That's why speedometer matters. So always make sure you're looking at your speedometer. Don't don't always rely on your perception, because perception is not always the right measurement. Speed must be verified with instruments. That's why we have speedometers. Next time when you feel slow in the highway or fast in a narrow roads, just remember your brain is estimating the speed based on the environments. It's not based on the reality. So ride consciously, not emotionally. Always check your instruments or check your cluster or your speedometers. Make sure you are maintaining the right speed. Alright, that's it all for this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.